Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Star Path Conversations. I'm Kara, I'm your host, and I'm so glad you're here. That means that you have a love of astrology and understanding things in a deeper level. So let's get into it. The astrology right now is pretty interesting. We have been building up into this full moon in Leo. And this full moon, usually Leo, you get excited, like, ooh, fun, drama, playful, creative. But this one is a little bit more, I guess, complex because of the aspects it's making a square to Uranus in Taurus and a square to Mercury in Aquarius. So therefore we have a T square. So there's a little bit more intensity to it. And we're also experiencing we're in the throes of Mars retrograde in Cancer, which has also been squaring Chiron. And that energy I feel to be kind of overriding everything at this point. I've had some conversations lately just kind of talking about the most recent astrology, like the North Node in Pisces and Pluto in Aquarius, and people being like, I'm hating this. And I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I honestly don't think it's the age of Aquarius that we hate so much as it is just being so over this Mars retrograde. I really underestimated this one. I saw it coming and I'm like, okay, Mars retrograde, it can't be that bad. Yes, it is awful. And just the fact that it's like hitting us in the dead of winter, it has brought the concepts of nurturing, survival, what are we fighting for? Why are we fighting for it? Motivation is low in an already kind of lower motivated time of the year. It's not like it's very rare that I've, you know, run into people who are like, just on the top of their game during winter. It's usually a more quiet, reflective time. And then when you take away all the gusto that you're going to get with Mars, it's like, oh my gosh, just really caught in the feelings. But we'll kind of backtrack to this full moon where, so you've got Leo, and Leo is at 24 degrees. So I'm going to read the Sabian symbol of 24 degrees Leo, and let's just kind of get the vibe of this. And for that, we have a large camel crossing the desert. This is a symbol of man's capacity to overcome the handicaps imposed on him by the normal limitations of the world in which he elects to function, and of his underlying and basically inexhaustible endurance. Here is a psychological integration of human character, revealing an effective self-mobilization which the least of men may accomplish. His achievements in the face of the difficulties to be overcome are the real foundation of his self-refinement and ultimate self-discovery. The key word is adequacy. It feels so on brand for this energy right now. It's like all I can think is the word inexhaustible and endurance. And that's what it feels like right now. It's like that Leo warmth is the sun, and it's wanting to just give us this like tiny defrosting of this icy Aquarian energy, and just kind of, it's definitely not springtime yet, but it's almost like just this like tiny little patch of melted snow that just gives you that sign of hope, and that your challenges and struggles, you're not done with the challenges, but there is hope. And hope has been really hard to come by right now. I see it with a lot of my sessions with my clients. A lot of people are just like, Kara, when does this get better? And the hard part for me is, wanting people to experience hope because there's so much that's going to happen this year that we should be excited about. There is a lot of change. There is a lot of hope. There is a lot of momentum. But I'm seeing this time period as sort of like this in between space between Pluto in a Capricorn world and Pluto in Aquarius. And that energy is so drastically different. And it's almost like having this major, major, major slowdown with Mars being retrograde, kind of keeping us from being able to initiate and make things happen on the outside. It's meant to be deeply reflective and realigning our inner emotion and reconfiguring the inner world here before we get going and start kind of rebuilding. So, letting Pluto in Capricorn era kind of fizzle out and dissolve using that Pisces North Node with Neptune conjunct there, that really helps us dissolve and kind of diminish boundaries. So we kind of lean into this energy where we let go of this one way of being. And then you have this long ass retrograde where it's really hard to make things happen, which is kind of good anyway. It's for our benefit. And then we start to shift into these new methods and just kind of a new ways of doing things and being and expressing with Pluto in Aquarius. So I am seeing how it all does kind of come together actually really beautifully. But the answer to the question is it's really not quite go time yet. It really isn't. And I'm finding in my own life, the more that I am trying to push things forward and kind of use my will versus going with the flow, I am just working way harder and not even able to get things done. And so that's been a real struggle for me trying to navigate this current energy. And my old way of doing something would be making a list, knocking things off the list one by one and just like, yeah, wake up, kick ass. Right now, that's not available to me whatsoever. And it can be really frustrating when you're just kind of used to a system and doing things. And I'm really I'm getting schooled every single day trying to calibrate to this new vibe of Pluto in Aquarius, but also North Node in Pisces. And, for this brief time, we're going to have it conjunct Neptune. This is not about forcing. It is not very practical. And having a to-do list is a freaking nightmare. So if you're experiencing that, you're not alone. I'm right there with you. And it's really kind of crazy learning how to navigate and just work with the energy and not feel like I'm fighting it. And so the other aspect of this full moon is it is square Uranus and Taurus. And we are getting close to the end of this transit. Now that Uranus is direct, and we're in Aquarius season, which Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. It's like this is very activated and it's very funky. It's quite mysterious to me. I will say I do like Uranian energy, but it's really difficult to predict and call. Think of Uranus as the wild card. It's electric. It is instant downloads. It is like a current, a pulse, an earthquake. It's like Wi-Fi. It's picking up a signal. It's a sudden, instant download, breakthrough, epiphany kind of energy. And it's rebellious. It's outside the box. It wants its freedom. It's a rebel. Then you have it in Taurus, who is this like, I want to say stuck, but Taurus isn't stuck. It's just very like solid and fixed earth energy. It's very much in its lane. It's very much like dug in, you know? So when that Uranus comes in there, it totally shakes it up. And I've been seeing it as like it is unearthing things for us. It is bringing things up into the surface. It is also having us in a completely new relationship with our values. And so, with this Leo full moon squaring Uranus and Taurus, I'm seeing us kind of, it's maybe not that we're so much surprised, but it's like we are maybe courageously stepping into and embracing a new passion or new ways of appreciation. The way I think of this is like, you've been perhaps going along in such a way, you know, pursuing things in a very traditional type of way. So let's just say, for example, you got the degree you were supposed to get, you got the job you were supposed to get. Like you've got all this stuff like really set out the way you thought that you should in order to make yourself happy. And during this Uranus transit, you're finding that, oh my gosh, I don't actually value these things the way I was told I should or that I thought I would. Like these things actually don't make me feel stable or secure. So that's just a way to kind of think about it. Or changing your values. Like, let's just say that maybe there's a time in your life that you were like super into brands and labels, and all of a sudden you're just like, I don't really need a Birkin. I just want a Walmart fanny pack, you know, that kind of a thing. Or even just like traditional things, they're losing their luster, or you're just able to embody and embrace and step into that strong, courageous Leo energy that says, you know what, screw it. I love what I love. And I'm in a place now that I can just, you know, fly this freak flag and embrace the unique things that make me happy. I do see that because this moon is also in a T square with Mercury in Aquarius. And Mercury in Aquarius is also getting us really thinking outside the box and also being able to align with our authenticity in a communication type of way. So these things are all talking to each other. Don't be surprised if you get some kind of clarity or breakthrough. It's quite possible that it could be dramatic because that's Leo's vibe. But Leo is also like really ballsy and courageous, and it is that warmth in the cold of the brutal winter. It is the heart that melts. So think of how these things are kind of working together. Early degrees of, no, it would be fixed signs, fixed placements in your chart. You know, look where you have an orb of, I would say about like 5 degrees. So this is a 24 degrees Leo moon. So see where you have Aquarius, Taurus, Leo. What am I missing? Scorpio. Scorpio's in the house. So yeah, look in your chart, see what where the fixed signs are, and you'll really see like how this energy is impacting you. Um, and give yourself grace. This is a wild, energetic time, and the month of March is going to knock your socks off. So I would just suggest that the best thing that we can do right now is kind of loosen our expectations. Also, not really be looking for things to go back to any kind of way. Like, oh, when is it going to go back to normal? Or when am I going to return to a certain way of being? It doesn't exist anymore. We are in brand new territory. There's no going backwards. It's an era of pioneering a new world. So, when I start to get a little caught up right now, the one thing that has been helping me is kind of reframing things, like instead of like, oh my God, I don't know how to deal with this. I recently just started kind of reworking that to, okay, universe, I am open to learning the rules. I'm open to learning how to navigate this new territory. Because, I mean, that's like the scary part, but also the cool part of what we're in is like, because of the planetary alignments, it's like, yes, there are some historical reference points of this astrology, but the combination we're in, it's like, we have never been here before. As a collective, historically, like it's very exciting, but it's also very challenging, especially when you're kind of trying to hold yourself to old standards and old ways of being. So that's a big, tip that I can offer, something that I've been really working myself through as well. And trying to think what else is happening. Oh, yeah. This week also, Mercury is going to shift out of Aquarius and move into Pisces. And that kind of just adds even more water into the chart. And it really it's kind of interesting because it is happening on Valentine's Day, and it just makes things a little bit more well, I have Mercury and Pisces in my natal chart, and sometimes I feel like it's really hard to articulate, but then sometimes it's like it makes you like a very, very good at poems, metaphors, body language, nonverbal cues. So things could get a little bit more sensitive, I think, and a little less making sense probably. So it's like this is another reason why this time also that it's so crucial for us to be tapping into our intuition and really using our discernment and using, our relationship with the divine to make decisions. Because I do think that, as things progress this year, we're going to get thrown a lot of stuff that's going to really challenge us and our sense of reality, and it's going to be very important to just continue to strengthen that muscle of discernment and intuition. So I think we'll kind of wrap it up there. I am going to pull a card for us out of this amazing deck, Star Codes Astro Oracle. And this I just have really enjoyed doing as a way to just kind of, just really get the core message of the reading, and just whatever of all the tons of things that are happening in the sky, what's the best thing that we can focus on. And I swear if we get Virgo again, I'm gonna laugh because I keep getting Virgo. The other interesting thing about this Valentine's Day is that the moon will be in Virgo. which is kind of interesting. Okay, I got our card. Um, I'll share it in just a second. But the South Node being in Virgo and the moon being in Virgo on Valentine's Day it's why is the word sterile kind of coming to mind? It could be a little flat, could fall flat, but I do think that overall there is a vibe of like so much romantic, dreamy, kind of escapey kind of stuff anyway. So if the actual day of Valentine's Day doesn't do it for you, just trust that there's going to be a lot more like ethereal kind of amazing dreamy things coming up. So check out our card. Capricorn, of course. And so that's actually what I was talking about at the beginning of this reading was the jump from Capricorn to Aquarius is so real. And perhaps the reason that this year is starting off in such a vibe of like trudge and sludge is because it's really what is that word? It's like a disconnection from the Capricornian methods of doing things and having it, all being about achievement and your career and success and just making things make sense. Well, guess what? It's just not available to us right now. So cut yourself some slack. If you are not, wake up, kick ass. It's just like, it's not happening. It's not happening for me. If it's not happening for you, just know I got your back. I'm with you. If you are ever interested in booking a personal reading with me, please visit starpathbykara.com. If you are a local to the San Diego area, I do in-person readings on Thursdays and Saturdays at Mystic Soul Ritual Shop in Oceanside. It's an amazing little crystal shop. Wonderful, wonderful people. So if you're ever in the area, come check us out. And thank you so much for tuning in. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Happy Valentine's Day.